The Secret Service is closing the White House cocaine investigation without finding a suspect. They say no cameras, no fingerprints. The agency is blaming insufficient FBI lab results and claiming that surveillance video was unable to provide any investigative leads. The Secret Service also telling lawmakers that small amounts of marijuana was also found at the White House on two separate occasions back in July and September of last year. Joining me right now is Tennessee Congressman, member of the House Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committee, Tim Burchett. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much. So the Secret Service, it's interesting to hear that there's absolutely no fingerprints on the cocaine bag and there's no camera in that area.
Yes, ma'am. It seems like this bag of cocaine has legs. You know, it was originally reported in another area, and now it's found in this area. And you know as well as I do, Maria, that you walked through that entrance many times, I'm sure. You don't go in there unless they have your Social Security number. They know who you are. And it's just a complete capitulation. That's why I walked out in disgust. First of all, they said the meeting wasn't secret. They should have been giving the briefing to the press and let you all chew them apart. Instead, they gave it to 15 other congressmen. And the odd thing was they gave the same briefing to the president and the White House prior to that, so they could arrange all their, what they were going to say to the press, I guess you could say, or not say to the press, as the case may be. And the whole thing just stinks. They don't have a key to the locker that it was found in. They're, oddly enough, that's where there was no camera view. And now they say they destroyed all the DNA evidence, and what they don't say is they destroyed all the DNA evidence because apparently when they went in and got the bag, they treated it as a biological entity and for some reason destroyed it because, to me it just seems like they would go in there with the hazmat suits on, put it in a protective bag, take it to a lab for analysis, but instead apparently they blew the thing up. It's just a complete joke and a nightmare, and it really looks bad upon this White House, the Biden family again, and our Secret Service, which is unfortunate. I felt sorry for the men that were having to make that report to us because you could tell that they were a little bit uncomfortable about it.
Well, I don't understand the idea that it was in a locker. We don't have the key to the locker. Whose locker was it?
That's another thing we don't know, and that's the whole ridiculous thing about this. You know, you have surveillance cameras, Maria, showing people coming in, ingress and egress, of course. You know, if this were to happen when I was the mayor of Knox County, we would know. We would know pretty quick. I mean, a bunch of country boys and girls would have figured it out, and it's pretty quick. And it's just it's really, the American public's not buying this at all. They see another cover up. It's just one on top of the other. I mean, what's going to happen on Monday?
So let's go to the Oversight Committee news, releasing new information which has detailed the Biden family's influence peddling scheme, this time in Romania. The committee flagged back in May of 2014 that then Vice President Joe Biden visited Romania a year later in September of 2015. Romania's president visited the White House. And then just 2 months after that visit, money started flowing into the Biden family accounts. A Romanian businessman was charged with corruption. He reportedly wired over $1 million to the Bidens over the course of 2 years. Congressman, is what we're hearing from your committee. Can you tell us any more about this?
Yes, ma'am. And also you have to realize, too, there's an IRS agent now who's saying that, he was basically pressured into not doing his job. This whole thing stinks. You've got the family getting money, and they don't have a product. And another thing they're not telling you is they didn't pay taxes on that dadgum money, Maria. You know good and well if you and I had not paid taxes on over $1 million or $50 for that matter, they'd be on you. I mean, the poor American. This White House has gotten people on. If you sell over $600 a year on eBay, you get a background. Oh, hang on a second, my light just went out. There it goes. Sorry. Another energy-saving method by the Biden White House. But there's a listing of all the people that have gotten money. They have no product to sell other than influence. This thing is a disaster, and it is a cover-up. Once again, this White House is guilty as sin. They got their hands caught way deep in the cookie jar, up to their elbows, and yet this Justice Department just turns a blind eye to the whole thing.
It's pretty incredible, actually. Every day there's this blockbuster story. Now we know that IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley and the whistleblower X will testify on Wednesday before the Oversight Committee, discussing their concerns with the Hunter Biden probe. Congressman, what are you looking to get out of them in this testimony? What should we expect?
I think they'll show the trail of the money, and they'll show that the Justice Department has refused to follow that trail, and that they were influenced or their careers were threatened because of this. And that's why one of the members is not even being named, and they will be named at the meeting. But this whole thing just stinks. The IRS, and again, another alphabet agency, is rotten at the core, and everybody wants to pick and choose, Maria. This Congress has to get some guts and start cutting the funding for these agencies until they start doing what's right.
Do you think they will? You think you will? Will you be able to do that?
I doubt it. I doubt it. This bunch up here, they all rattle the sabers, but then they get pretty gutless. I've prepared several amendments to do just that. So we'll see if I can get any. I'm going to talk to Whip Emmert this morning about one in particular, and hopefully he'll help me to get on the floor.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching all of that. And again, we really want to understand what decisions Joe Biden made as vice president or senator or president to be able to warrant these incredible payouts that apparently he and his family have taken in. Congressman, we'll be watching. Thank you. Congressman Tim Burchett joining us. And stay with us. We'll be right back.